we go in, we have the debate and all the rest of it, and when it got to I thought, how am I going to do this asset thing and all the rest of it? I'll go for him. So I produced my old student book. I did politics as a student 8 years ago. I produced my old red book and threw it at him, basically. And that really went down a storm with the PLP, I tell you. and of course, the papers went bananas and all that sort of thing. But to be frank, usually the Shadow Chancellor's speech, within hours of it being made, usually sinks beneath the water. And usually the next day, it isn't even fish and chip paper, because often it's not even reported. And what that did, I know some people didn't like it and all that, but what that did, it got me the opportunity to tour around every radio and TV station this morning to be blasted about the use of Chairman Mao and all this sort of stuff, but actually to get the issue of asset sales. And here's the bizarre thing. My office today has been getting people sending me comments from lots of Tories quoting Chairman Mao. And we've got a great one from Michael Gove, where he's quoting Chairman Mao's Long March as an inspiration.
Ultimately, I think the next election is, or any election is, won or lost on. So Ed Miliband on question time, and she could not bring herself. She was too frightened about what happened.
Apart from the experience of Iraq, I'm worried that we play into a narrative that ISIL wants, which is, they always say it was the US or the UK or any Western power. It's a crusader invasion. And it plays into their narrative. And in some ways, some of the actions that they're taking at the moment, I think, is to draw the West into activity. In that way, they will recruit. So my view is that I've always argued, even before the Iraq war, that the issues within the Middle East should be settled by the regional powers themselves. And the longer we intervene, the less opportunity or less chance there is of those regional powers actually resolving their own problems within that area. Well, I'm not an advocate of Maoism, to be honest, but the quote that I gave him the other day, actually read to him the other day, was basically about making sure if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. And actually, I think the one thing I found out about George Osborne, actually, they all think he's this sort of Machiavellian wonderful politician. He's certainly not an economist, and I don't think he's much of a politician. I think actually on many of these issues he's clueless. There'll be large movements of people across Europe at the moment because of the economy increasing in this country. But just as in future years, there'll be large numbers of people from this country going into Europe as well. We live within Europe without borders at the moment, and that's the future of our European economy. That's why I want to remain part of the EU. So you'll expect fluctuations in immigration from Europe in particular. But at the same time, when our country was in recession, a lot of people went from this country to work in Europe, and that's the nature of our economy. As long as immigration is not being used to undermine workers' rights or undercut wages, I think we have to come to terms with that now. However, we do need legislation to protect workers' rights and protect wages so that unscrupulous employers are not using migrant labour to undermine wages and conditions.
Makes me physically ill. Is there any way that the Labour Party can come up with
The new kind of economics that you're thinking about is...
And the third thing, I say it time and time again, we discovered a secret 2 centuries ago when the first stage of the Industrial Revolution, in the workshops and in the fields. It was a secret that we put on our banners. Unity is strength, injury to one is an injury to all. It's called solidarity. It's called being together, solidarity. So that's what we need. Determination, courage, solidarity.